Okay, so I grew up in Pretoria in a loving family. Growing up, we had everything we needed. I can't say that we ever had a shortage of anything. My mom and dad at a stage decided that they didn't get along well. My dad was always busy with other women. My mom frustrating him in ways. They decided to break their ways and go apart. And as they were divorcing, me and my sister slept over at my dad's new girlfriend's house. And I had a dream that my father would pass away in a car accident. That night, as they left, I begged him not to go. I was hysterical and I stood in front of the door crying, asking him please not to leave, and he promised me that he'll come back. That morning, 2 o'clock, the police were at the door letting us know that my father and her brothers passed away in the car accident. My whole life came tumbling down after this situation, after my dad passing away, and my mom's life completely. This changed my mom's life badly. During this time, as growing up, my mom started getting involved in drugs. Going through this stages, my mom went out constantly during the week, during weekends. My mom was always out clubbing, and she started selling drugs as well at this stage and using herself as well. My mom got locked up for dealing drugs when I was at the age of 12 on my birthday. I was at school waiting for her to bring me sweets packets for the school party, and she never pitched. I went home that afternoon just to find out my mom got locked up and went to prison. At this stage in my life, my whole life, I was doing very, very well academically and in sports. Right through primary school, I was first team rugby captain, went to good high schools at the end of the day, did really, really well. But in the highlight of my life, I realized that I had no one supporting me. My mom's in prison, my father's not there anymore. I remember scoring a try in the high school I was, and everybody's parents were going crazy. And as I looked around, my parents weren't there. Nobody I know was there. So I started rebelling very badly, started bunking school, not interested in this whole educational sport thing anymore. And I jumped from school to school, and my mom got released from prison when I was in grade 9. When she got released from prison, we got placed back to her, and she started using heroin again. I could see the signs, the behaviors, the smells, everything I know. And the guy she was dating at this stage, his parents got involved and said that they're going to contact the welfare to take us away again. My mom panicking, us as well panicking, decided to pack up that evening late at midnight and run away to Polokwane. Due to that, I had to do my whole grade 9 year over as well, because we were hiding for some time as well. And my mom stopped for some stage. And I went to school, went well, made friends, fitted in the whole place there as well. And one day I came home and I could hear the click of the lighter, my mom in the bathroom. I could hear that click of that lighter, specific lighter she used to use. I could smell it, and I burst into the bathroom and my mom was using again. I lost it completely, and I asked her, do you want to lose us again? It's time to choose, it's either this or us. And she chose that. I never saw my mom again. I decided to turn my back there, and I left. For the next 6 to 7 years, I never spoke to my mom, a word to my mom. Whenever people asked me where's my parents, I said both my parents are dead. So I went through high school, started making contact at some stage with my mom again. And I left school at about, I think I was standard 8 or standard 9. Came back to Pretoria and got involved with all the bad people, the baddest people you possibly could. I was always fighting. I really loved to fight. One night I was out partying at a well-known place in Pretoria and got into a fight and got arrested that night and got charged for assault with the intent to do grievous bodily harm. When I came out of that place, I decided never, never again will I do that. The charges got dropped luckily, and I could go about my life again. I went back to Polokwane, begged the school there to please take me back so I can get my matric. At first they were very, very hesitant. So they gave me the chance and I wrote matric. I finished matric at the age of 20. Got my matric certificate. During my matric year I met a girl, fell in love with this girl, and she got pregnant by the end of our matric year. And my oldest son was born. I was faced with the challenges to find a job to provide for him and for her, as I did not know how to be a parent at that stage. I started using crystal meth, which I got addicted to very fast, and lost absolutely everything. I met my now wife. She decided to move in with me at that stage. My mom moved in with me at that stage, and as everything fell apart, they were there to witness it as well. We ended up homeless for about six or 7 months, where we were literally staying on the road. We got help by family members all over the place, from Rustenburg to Mooinooi to Pretoria, back to Polokwane, jumping around, trying to run from the addiction, but to maintain the addiction. We ran from Pretoria back to Polokwane, and she fell pregnant with my daughter. So we moved into a house with people, but the people weren't there at that stage. They were moving their stuff from one town to Polokwane, and we were in the flat so long, so the flat was empty. It was just me, my wife and the kids on the mattress. That Monday morning, there was a knock at the door, and when I opened the door, it was a welfare worker. I knew this welfare worker very well because she dealt with me and my sister's situation as well as kids. When I opened up the door, the first thing I asked is, please do not take my kids. And she said, I'm sorry, I have to. So my kids got taken away that day, my son and my daughter being 2 weeks old. They gave us ultimatums saying that we need to find jobs, our own place to stay, then our kids will be placed back to us. My goal was to get that done. So when I arrived home that day, I still had crystal meth left in the cupboard. I threw it out. I went into the room and locked myself in that room, and I got so sick. My whole life I haven't been a believer. I did not believe in God at all. But this night I asked God, please, if you're there, pull me through this, or I need to go. I will take my own life. But I can't live like this anymore. And I fell asleep that night and woke up the next morning not feeling a single pain. And so my journey started. I never had an understanding what a relationship with God is. I believed in Him at that stage, but I did not have a relationship at all. I jumped from job to job, trying to find a better job every time, and eventually found a good job where I was for a very long time. Started speaking to God now and then, not understanding that there's a lifestyle that you cannot live as soon as you have Jesus. So still going out partying. Every weekend was an opportunity for me to party. And yeah, I prayed for a new job. Not that there was anything wrong with this job, I just felt that I was stagnating at that stage and I wanted to grow further. And got the opportunity to go for an interview at a company as a sales rep. I went for the interview and did not hear from them for quite some time. I asked God to please, one day I went into the bathroom and prayed and just asked, please, if there's this, just give me a sign that this is it. And as I was busy praying, my phone rang in my pocket. I'll never forget that day, the goosebumps I got that day. Yeah, I got the job. I did very well in the job I did. I was Rep of the Year for 5 years, all 5 years that I was working there. While I was working for this company right after COVID, about a year or two after COVID, I was in a very big car accident. I was driving from Chezray to Palabora, and a truck overtook another truck illegally and hit me head on, driving right over the car. I broke my jaw. My pinky is amputated and I broke my wrist, but I still got out of that car myself. I do not remember anything about that accident at all, but I remember one thing. I was leaning on the car and I could literally feel someone grabbing my shoulder and hear the voice, get up, and there was no one. And when I woke up, I was in hospital. I was in theater. I was not supposed to get out of that car, but I did. In the situation with the accident, God appeared to me there in a way, and something happened and the enemy knew that there's bigger things happening now. And a friend of mine invited me. She was in school with me actually in Polokwane, and she invited me to U Group. making every excuse every Wednesday not to go, but ending up there anyway. One evening, a pastor sat in there. He was the area pastor for our area there, and he sat in one of our youth groups. During works, he told me to please stand up, and you in the black shirt, please stand up. And I started looking around, and he says, no, you. And as I got up, he started prophesying about things that happened in my life and the things that's going to happen. He said that he saw me hitting my fist. I'm constantly fighting. My whole life I've been fighting. That's what I am, a fighter. But I'm not going to stop fighting. I'm just going to use it in the right way and start fighting for souls. So after this, I started changing my whole life. Got baptized, got released as a youth group leader, and then my whole family as well started worshiping God. One thing that happened one night, I prayed during prayer and I asked God to please just get my family more involved. And as I look to my side, my wife was there, my son, my 10-year-old son was sitting on the couch praying. I strive to be the best godly leader I can in my house, to be an example to my sons, to be a loving and caring husband to my wife, although I've messed up much in my life. Thank God for the grace. For me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I'm Chezray, Olivier, and this is my uStory. What's yours?